What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I wanted to talk about cards that sell fast and often. And some of these are going to be specific cards, and some of them are going to be like categories and groups. You'll figure it out as we go, but stick around because there's going to be some really great advice for sellers, collectors, and everyone all around. So stick around for these 7 awesome tips. Before we hop into this one, I did want to let you guys know about an amazing Whatnot show that we've got going on where we're going to be selling this Mew EX starting at $1, this Charizard EX starting at $1, this Charizard from Evolutions starting at $1, and also this Charizard RCS Cracked Ice Hollow and the Mega Charizard EX PSA 10, all starting at $1 on Whatnot. Also, if you use my referral link down below, you'll get $15 towards your first purchase, and we're going to be having a bunch of awesome stuff in the Buy It Now, so you can swing by, pick up some free cards, and just hang out. It's going to be a lot of fun, so definitely check out my Whatnot, link in bio. So without further ado, let's turn this camera around and look at the computer. So starting off with this list of cards that sell fast, I want to start off with Gen 1 starters. I am constantly seeing Gen 1 starters sell whatever the card is, whether it's vintage or modern. Gen 1 starters are just classic, iconic cards. Here's an example right here of the Charmander from Hidden Fates. I also have another example from Bulbasaur, the first edition Bulbasaur, and then even the Squirtle from 151. It's kind of like a little bit of everything right there. And Gen 1 starters, I just think that they are absolute gold. You cannot go wrong getting a hold of the Gen 1 starters. I feel like some of them might sell a little bit more often, like Charmander, just because, as you'll see later on this list, Charizard is kind of a big key with Charmander, so there's a lot of collectors there. But you really can't go wrong with any of these 3 cards. If you're looking to collect or resell, these cards just are constantly selling, and you can see that, you know, some of them, they sell for a really high dollar. I mean, this is a modern card, but it is from 151 and it sold for 93 bucks. So that is my number 1. Number 2, it's going to be Charizard. You saw it coming. I told you. Charizard. I mean, every Charizard is going to be selling constantly and fast. Like, these guys, if you list it at the right price, and that's something that is very consistent with this entire list, you know. With cards that you want to sell fast, they got to be priced right. You know, people are looking for deals right now, so you have to price it at or slightly below market, and just expect to, you know, kind of pay a little bit less, you know, and kind of expect to get a little bit less than fair market value maybe, but if that is when you want to sell it fast. Sometimes you might just be looking for the right buyer. So we've got the Japanese version from the 25th anniversary, of course, super awesome card. And this one was a BGS 10, so that also is another reason that that is going to be a very fast seller. And you'll see later on our list that we actually do have that as one example. So this is also another one, base set 2. This one was a best offer accepted. And then also Charizard EX from 151. You'll see a lot of 151 cards in this, just because a lot of the cards that I honestly think sell so fast are just a lot of the Generation 1 Pokemon, or vintage cards in general. But that might not be always the case, because our number 3 for cards that sell fast is Pikachu. Pikachu always sells fast, super iconic Pokemon. A lot of people love Pikachu. And it kind of just works hand in hand with those Gen 1 starters. It's just kind of like the first thing that people think of when they kind of think about Pokemon, is the Gen 1 starters, the cards that get a lot of attention from people, the characters that get a lot of attention from people. And I just pulled out this Van Gogh Pikachu just because this was one that was absolutely just nutty, flying off the shelves. Everyone was going crazy for it. And you know, there's tons of Pikachu promos that they do. I mean, the Poncho Pikachus, the list goes on, really, with Pikachus, but I just wanted to go through that one real quickly. Next up is Evolutions. And I'll be honest with you, I might have a little bit of bias with this one, but, like, I love Evolutions, and I'm constantly seeing them sell, And like if I'm in Whatnot or any like auction, I feel like I'm having to fight like tooth and nail with a lot of these evolution auctions. And then also, of course, you have like a ton of these iconic evolutions cards that people are like hunting for, like the Moonbryon or the Prime cards or the Gold Star Umbreon or whatever it is. You know, there's just so many different things to do with the evolutions, and I think that they are just super cool. A lot of the artworks are awesome. There's some really cool collection boxes for them, and yeah, evolutions constantly see them selling, and they sell really, really fast. And then, of course, just the fact that you can find them anywhere from generation 1 and forward. You know, you got the vintage ones, and then you've got the modern stuff. So that takes us to our next card that sells fast, and that's going to be Mew and Mewtwo. And so I just pulled up this example here, was an alternate artwork from Fusion Strike for Mew. This card I've seen sell a few times. The Ancient Mew I am constantly seeing sales for. I'm always seeing listings on Facebook Marketplace. Any apps where you can shop locally, I see them at local card shops. I see them online. I see the Ancient Mew constantly, and it's a super cool and unique card. And it's just a really cool, movie promo card, you know? And this one had a really nice swirl there. It's a CGC 9. It didn't sell for a crazy amount, but it's a super cool card and it sells fast. And that's what this list is all about. And then we have this really cool Delta Species World Championship Mew. This one at a 4 sold for probably around $100. It's best offer accepted. That's a really, really cool card. And then Mewtwo, of course, is included with number 5. Mewtwo, super iconic as well. It's just, you know, Mew and Mewtwo, they work hand in hand. But that brings us to our next card that sells fast, which is Gold Star Pokemon. And also Delta Species. This is a Delta Species, but specifically I'm talking about the Gold Star Gyarados here, which I don't know how much it sold for, but $1,400 was listed. They took a best offer. Really, really cool, 8.5. And I'm constantly seeing Gold Star cards sell for like really high dollar amounts. And yeah, I mean, they're constantly selling. We have another example here of a Mewtwo, which works hand in hand. Gold Star, Mewtwo. Hey, that'd be a great card to collect. Here's a PSA 6, sold for $250. So, I mean, this is just a great card to get your hands on. You know, it fulfills multiple categories of the, you know, icon status, and it's the Mewtwo, and it's a Gold Star. Like, you know, there's so much going for this card. So I totally understand why it sold for so much, even in a 6. And then the next card on our list, funny enough, after scrolling up, I saw it right there, starts with a G, Gengar. That's right, Gengar is 100% like a super iconic Pokemon. There's tons of Gengar collectors, and it sells super fast. I mean, especially the vintage ones, like maybe that banned old Sabrina's Gengar with the cemetery around, or just honestly a ton of Gengars. I mean, I'm watching these art rares that are selling for Ghastly, and people are really loving that Ghastly. Like, it's selling for a really good amount, and not to mention Morty's Conviction and Gengar, all from Temporal Forces. It's selling for a really good amount, and it sells super fast. Gengar is just got a lot going for him. A lot of people love Gengar, super iconic Pokemon. And that makes our 7th on the list. So those are my tips and my takeaways from what I see often selling and what I see sells fast. And that's what it's really all about when it becomes, you know, dead stock. as a reseller or someone who owns a card shop, you never want to just sit on dead stock because the market fluctuates often. So if you bought it at something that you knew you were going to make a little bit of money, you don't know if that's going to be the case 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years from now. You don't know. So you have to sell it fast. And that's where these cards come in. I've seen all of these cards, and I guarantee if you go onto eBay right now and you look for one of these 7 categories that I provided, I guarantee you will see a Pokemon card that has last sold within the past day, maybe even the past 5 hours. You will see one of these categories. I just see them all the time. I love watching the market. I love seeing what sells and what the trends are looking like. And I just feel like these are just the absolute just golden opportunity cards where if you get your hands on one of these cards, then you can absolutely see that being a wonderful collectible for years to come. But that's my take. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.